1024 Aviator. Smoke. I'm not a hack your day. Miner. Minear.
He doesn't.
Okay. D4C Snag. Oh, yeah. And then Gotham. Have fun, boys.
Cool, good luck, everybody.
Camaro, back out. Make sure you include your audio when you come in. I got a message from him. Need invite.
Probably
You must have hit that little red button. And if for some reason you need a restart, ST6, you'll be the one that sends me a message. Hey, we need to reset. And then if we reset, I'll come back into your party and then back out. Gotcha? Did you get that? Did you get that, Miner? He is. He's in here. You guys have a good race.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Yep. Hello. I can. Make sure you include your audio, and I'll include my audio. And oh no, you got it set to where I don't have to. You are recording, right? No, you're
Yep.
not recording anymore. That
On
don't
mine,
show
I
up on
am.
the side.
Okay, I'll stop it
Mine.
and restart it.
Yeah. Are you doing it through Mixer or Twitch?
Mixer. I don't have Twitch downloaded on my Xbox. I have to re-download it.
Cool. Well, welcome, viewers. We are live here
There you go.
at the ST6 D4C DTM race series. What a tongue twister that is. And side by side with me today, I got a new broadcaster just making his debut broadcasting with me, and that's SVGH Camaro Kid. How you doing tonight, Camaro Kid?
Good, I'm tired.
Well, we're about an hour and a half long race here, and we're watching them as they're going out and qualifying. What's your predictions? Who do you think's going to get that top qualifying position today?
I'd have to say probably Cyborg.
Cyborg?
Yep. Or Snag, because they're running the same setup. And when I ran that setup, it was really nice. And it's probably going to be a close one between those two.
Going on with this, and you know, I would have to agree that it would be a toss-up, I think, between Ads, Taxi, Cyborg, or ST6.
Well, in 10 minutes we'll find out.
Absolutely, and as they're still doing their warm-up laps.
So far, the track conditions have actually, the track temperature has gone down a couple degrees from the start.
Any better? Oh, and we got ST6 in at a 213. Oh, and we got ST6 in at a 213. And say something.
Then we have a 215 right after the 213 ran from ST6, I think his name is. Then we have a 215.
Okay. I think that's good. Okay. Right, and D4C Snag does have a 229, but I'm sure he'll get that a little bit better. He just got a brand new setup that he put in that car, so he's probably still getting used to it. And we'll have to see where Smoke comes in. You know, we're hoping and praying today that Smoke goes without getting a grid penalty. This here at SBGH, we've been giving him our time. We've been calling him grid all week because every single time he runs a race, he either gets disqualified for too fast leaving pit road, or he don't exit pit right, and he gets a grid penalty. So our hopes and prayers are on today is that he is going to start this race without a grid penalty or a disqualification, because he is sitting in for Iceman as Cyborg's teammate.
Cyborg just ran a 217. Gotham ran a 221 so far, and Snag ran a 228.
Yes, and we are rerunning this from last week, and last week the rain came in, and we're going to have to see if the rain's going to come in today. I do see rain in the forecast for the first half of this race. This race is scheduled for 1.5 hours today. Well, I hope everybody has their pit strategies all set up, and I mean, that's going to have to be a tank of fuel. Sometime I imagine they can do it with one pit stop. But knowing these cars, after 20 laps, your tires are pretty much shot. So who do you think is going to elect to go for 2 different pit stops and try to win the race on tire wear, or the lack of tire wear, versus ones that are going to try to keep out with the old tires? What's your thoughts on that, Camaro kid?
I know Cyborg, and he's smart and pays attention to all that stuff, so I'm sure he's going to take more than a single pit stop to make sure that his tires are very new and fresh, so they're grippy.
Right. Well, I would imagine the top 4 drivers are going to pretty much mimic what each other are doing. It's the last 4 drivers in the field that are going to be probably taking chances, right?
Yeah. Cyborg just ran a 212.006.
Oh, almost got that 211. And ST6 is at a 212.86, 8.3 tenths of a second behind Cyborg. The Aviator is in 3rd at a 215. Smoke is at a 216. Gotham is at a 220. And then look at that. Dad's Taxi has not even been out yet to complete a lap. He's out on the track right now. We're going to pan over here to Dad. Dad's Taxi. He is the owner of Project Cars Racing Club on Xbox.
Got him
we're going to
into the
take a
pit.
look at him. As we have 5 minutes remaining, Dad's taxi goes off the track a little bit, gets a little squirrely there. I imagine that they did not practice at nighttime, and the temperatures here at this track is 25 degrees Celsius, which would be what on your side of that? What's your track temperature there?
Right now I have a 78-degree track temperature.
So 78 degrees at 20 Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius. And he pulled out a 2:15 for his first lap, which puts Smoke back to 6th and the Aviator back to 5th. And that's his first lap log, so you almost got to know he's going to get quicker on there. But over to you there, Camaro kid. Whoa,
we have the new fastest lap of TS6 with the 2:11.984 in top qualifier so far. Then we have Cyborg with the 2:12, Snag with the 2:12. So those are our top 3. It looks like someone spun up just now. It seems that there's a lot more Mercedes than there are BMWs.
Right. I do know that ST6 Shoe is running the BMW, and he's making it happen. We'll have to see if Cyborg can't get a little bit closer to him and take that TP1 position from him. But I mean, P1, P2, I mean, it's pretty much the same, right? You get the preferred line being in P1, but they do not offer points. Oh, he's gonna get it here, and he does. That's what that little flashing light was, is for me to let me know before he did it. Yeah, you know what? Watch this. Wait for it. 2:11.596. Cyborg, and Shoe is in the pits, and he's not going to be able to get out there and try to defend that. So it does look like SVGH Cyborg is going to have pole position tonight. Which, and if after this race, for you viewers that want to keep track of the points, it's on our homepage at www.svghostings.com. And it'll be on the homepage and all our series that are upcoming. And we got a couple starting out Saturday and Sunday. We got 2 new series starting. Our annual IROC series and NASCAR Race for the Chase on Project Cars 2. Is starting on Sunday morning. If you're interested in running it, go to Project Cars of America Racing Club on Xbox and put that you're interested on the looking for groups.
So far, D4C Gotham seems to be having a very rough qualifier.
Yeah, it does look like that. We're just going to have to see, which this race is ran during the daytime at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so maybe the whole night thing is just confusing. Yeah, because nighttime there's a lot of distractions, the visibility stuff that you can't see, like out your side, and so maybe that's what it is.
Plus, if you have a more quick driver behind you, if they flash their lights or something in your mirror, you'll get distracted and look at them and look at that instead of looking at where you're supposed to drive. I know I have that trouble in the dark.
So Shu is out to see if he can't get that P1 position. I'm going to pan up to him and put on the times to see where he's running opposed to Cyborg. Because Cyborg has his fastest time up there. And it does not look like he's going to get a lap in. Like I said, I didn't think he had enough time. So, as we're going to about ready to take a 5-minute intermission, so the drivers can get ready, because this is an hour and a half long, drain the lizard and get the drink and get a beer if they're drinking a beer. No, I'm not promoting drinking and driving, but it is a video game, and you know, you're not actually out on the road, right?
Yeah, it's
so as they're around,
it won't
right,
get hurt or anything.
So as it looks, we're going to wrap up this qualifying run, and SVG8 Cyborg has taken first place. P2 is ST6. Third place is D4C Snag. Aviator is in fourth. Dad's Taxi is in fifth. Minear is in sixth. Smoke is in seventh, and rounding up is Gotham in last place on the qualifying. And that means that this race will start right straight up at 7 p.m.
Or if you're in Central Time like I am, 8 o'clock.
If you're Eastern, your time is 7, 8 o'clock. Eastern would be 9 o'clock.
Oh.
I'll just message him on or that way there's no confusion of what time frame these guys are in.
Yep.
As we're taking a little intermission here and getting ready to have some fun. So while we have the sit here and chit chat there, Camaro Kid, who's your prediction for the race winner today? We definitely have a battle going on between SPGA Cyborg and ST6 Schoonemaker. But we cannot forget about Snag or Dad's Taxi Service because they had really good on practice runs. And pretty much everybody has a contention to win this, but I would have to say those four are your top four drivers after looking at qualifying. What's your thoughts on this? Who do you think is going to win today?
I'm sure Cyborg or ST6 will be in one of the three. A lot of these drivers I've never really raced with before, but I know Adam might actually have a bit of a chance because a lot of the drivers go into the first turn and have some sort of mishap in the turn, and he might be able to go around that and be able to get up on the position. So no,
right, and you know, you gotta also figure 2 minutes and 11 seconds, 2 minutes, 15 seconds at hour and a half, that's 90 minutes. So you're talking a 40 an hour-long race here. Who do you think has the longevity of it all?
I know Cyborg will probably have he has a lot of preparation for a lot of these longer races, and he has the mindset of being able to do all that and be able to get up on the other drivers. He can tune his cars to be able to do the longevity of the races.
Well, I'm going to take a short little minute-long intermission. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Just go ahead and talk away. You're still being recorded, and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Shout out.
Okie dokie. For those of you who don't know, I am new to the whole broadcast thing. I'm also somewhat new to SPGH. I'm probably one of the closest to being the youngest drivers. I am a good friend with Cyborg and One Bigger D. They kind of help me out on tips and all that. So I'd love to shout out Big D and Cyborg. Smoke, SPGH Smoke 14. I know he's fast in some things. I never really got to race with these cars or anything, so I don't know how they handle. I got to mess around for like 10 minutes right before the practice started for the race. So, I mean, I don't really know because I don't know a lot of these drivers. So, my prediction is Cyborg, I'm sure, is going to be in the top 3. ST6 is probably going to be right behind Cyborg, or might even be in front of him, who knows. And then, I'm probably guessing Dad's Taxi, or Snag, being in the top 3. I'm not quite sure on what order, but oop, let's see if Big D is going to be.
And make sure you retire and spectate so you're not involved in the race there. And as they're putting their tunes in and their pit strategies, we have a minute and a half before this race starts.
That rain is really cooling off the track. I know in the qualifying the track temperature was about like 78, 80 degrees, and let's hope that they can keep their tires warm if they were to spin out or anything.
Absolutely, and you know, the rain part, I wonder. I'm back with you, I think. My controller shut off for a second. So, with the rain coming in, I wonder if everybody's going to remember to put rain tires on, because, I mean, that is a race breaker there. And this will be a formation lap. So when they get going green, it will be one lap around the track. And now with the rev limiter and the start of the engine and that, they had to start their engines. It will be, see, if you don't have your rev limiter on or that, and you, what'd you call it? Take off too soon or speed before it goes green, you will get penalized. I think it's a 10-second penalty. So, I mean, and if you go too fast, they will disqualify you. I think you're allowed up to 3 miles an hour speeding over the limit. And the limit is 37 miles an hour as they go around this track. And we are in for an exciting race live here at the DTM series hosted by ST6 and D4C. And I would have to think you're right there on your predictions there, because I would have to say, like, it's going to be who wins this race is going to be the one that keeps it clean throughout the whole race. This race is definitely not won at the start of this race. And we're about ready to go green here. As they're about halfway around the track. And we got that little hairpin U-turn, and then they're going to sign, they're going to get ready to go green here. As they're getting ready to go. And it does look like the Aviator was flagged out of the race. And they are green here with Cyborg taking the lead. Well, he is in the lead because he was in P1, right? But he did not get, he had a very good start as they come into this tricky first turn. And it does look like T6 went out. ST6 went out way wide, lost about 4 or 5 positions there. He dropped back to 5th, and Cyborg takes out. Miner's in 2nd, and Dad is in 3rd. Gotham is in 4th. And you know, that was a pretty good prediction about people going wide on that first turn and Gotham taking positions. We'll have to take a look here, see if Gotham can keep it up, as he's running in 4th position right now. And Cyborg is taking
That
off.
already went off the track multiple times.
Right. Well, with the rain, it's kind of hard to control these cars. Cyborg and Dad are, and I don't know about ST6, is very experienced rain drivers. Completely different ball game to run in the rain, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Snack spun out. He's towards the back. He looks like he hit something and started to spin out. It looks like he can't keep the car gripped down to the track.
And Cyborg has a dominant 3-second lead, and then Dad's Taxi Service is 4 seconds behind the leader. I'm going to keep it right here with the leader for right now, and then I'll scroll through the field.
It seems like Snack is having a very hard time with this car going around the track.
Yeah, Snack is all over the place, isn't he? And as I'm looking at ST6, I wonder how much of that, I mean, he messed up in that first turn, but I mean, I don't think he's too worried about it right now because this is a very long race. We do have another hour and 20 minutes left on this race. An hour and 26 minutes. And as the track temperatures have went down a little bit, we're about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. As I'm looking for the battle for second place between Minear, Dad's Taxi, and ST6 Shoe. I mean, they are bunched. Are you watching this? And ST takes Dad and takes Miner and runs into Miner a little bit. Oh, and Miner retaliates, but Miner goes around. That was interesting that, you know, he got into him and it backfired on him, and Miner ended up going around as ST6 is now in second place, 5.1 seconds behind the leader, which is SBGH1, or not one, SBGH Cyborg. I almost said my name. I'm the leader. And Dad's Taxi Service retaliates and does look to the inside. What an exciting race. Are you watching this, Camaro? As Dad
I'm watching.
Go ahead.
As I was watching down, Snag already took his first pit stop, and I was watching the back group.
And Dad, like I said, Dad took third place, second place back away from ST6 after ST6 aggressively took 2 positions there. Dad's now going down the straightaway, 6 seconds behind the leader as they're about ready to hit on the brakes and go into that sharp right turn. And ST6 is still all over him. We got an exciting race here for second place right now. And another one would be Smoke and Minear for 4th place. They are within seconds of each other, and it does look like Gotham slid off the track a little bit as we're going to jump back up here to second place battle as Smoke is having a rough time keeping his car. You know, a lot of these drivers are not used to running in this rain with that windshield wiper going back and forth. It does distract you a little bit. And as it does look like Snag is getting lapped. No,
yeah, Snag already took his first pit stop.
That was
all
Gotham
that, and
that
he's
just
been, I
got
think,
lapped.
lapped a couple times.
And Dad has finally took second and is starting to pull away from ST6. He has about a 4-car length, 3-car length lead over third place, which is about a 1.3 seconds, 1.5 seconds lead. And as we have another co-commentator coming in here right now, and that would be SVGH Roto Storm. And how are you doing today, Roto? We're doing good. We're just calling this race here the DTM. You remember last week where we had a rain fest, wreck fest, and a blown engine fest. So far we are 7 minutes into this, and we have a couple drivers that are down a little bit, but for the most part we're having a very good run here. We have Cyborg in first place. Dad's Taxi is behind him by 4.9 seconds, which he has closed the gap. That used to be 6.5. Then we have ST6, 7 seconds behind the leader. Minear is 14 seconds, and then SBGH Smoke is rounding out the last car in the lead lap at 18 seconds. Then we have Gotham, which is 1 lap down, and Snag, which is, I believe, almost 2 laps down. Brian, and I mean, even though you can't really see it, we do have Camaro Kid here right now calling this and watching it with me. But you're more than welcome to stay in this booth and call and talk. And I mean, even though you won't be able to call play-by-play, race-by-race action, you could still talk and give us your expertise. You know, being an upcoming star at SVGH, just made his switch from NASCAR Heat over to Project Cars and doing a wonderful job as a racer. You know, what's your predictions on today's race? Because you were Bronson last week and watching it with me. Who do you think's going to win today? Absolutely, and I would do the Twitch stream because the Twitch don't have as big of a delay as the YouTube. Okay. And what are you watching on right now there, Camaro Kid? What battle are you watching? I'm still watching second place, even though he has pulled a dominating 9 seconds away from ST6. And it does look like Snag is in the pits again. Who are you watching, and call a little bit of what you're seeing there, Camaro Kid?
I'm kind of going for Mioneer, Smoke, Gotham, and Snack. I'm kind of going between them, watching the back of the pack. Our
Right,
Smoke and Mioneer have been battling back and forth. Mioneer spun out, so Smoke was able to get in front of him, but Mioneer must have a little bit more top end, and on the straightaway he pulled past him.
Right, I do know this is Smoke's first time ever running in a rain race, so I imagine that does play somewhat into, but yeah, this is an exciting race here as well. We are racing for 4th place. Mioneer is pulling away a little bit, but Smoke is pushing that car, and you know, I do want to give a shout out to Smoke because he has not got a grid penalty today. And that's just an ongoing, like, Right. Yeah, because last time, you know, and that's the thing, like I know Cyborg going into this, blown an engine last week, and I've raced with Cyborg for 3 years. I've never seen that man blow an engine. Go from 6th to 3rd, and the engine just gave out, of course, right? But he was a little leery, and his confidence was down, and same with, was what you're talking about with Smoke. And it seems like they've bounced back, and Smoke has really bounced back. And like I said, we gave him enough of a hard time about being grid. We were calling him grid all week, and I think he's wanting to prove, hey, you know what, I'm better than what I was. And as he does go off the racetrack a little bit, and yeah, you did include your audio there, right?
I believe so.
Okay. I didn't test your... Which I was having a little bit of issues with YouTube side of things today. I think I had all the technical difficulties settled before this race started. So if you are lagging a little bit on the YouTube side of things, I am sorry about that. I am aware that I'm having issues with YouTube, but we're still streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. So if the YouTube channel's not up to your liking, or if it's skipping frames, you can always look us up on twitch.tv/SBGamingH is our channel on Twitch. And the Twitch channel is doing really good right now. And as we go back to the race, it does look like Dad is pulled within 6 seconds, and Shu is making a way back up to second. So we're just gonna have to see. And you know, being an hour and a half long race, you know, I don't know about in the rain, but in dry conditions, these tires usually last about 20-25 laps. What's your prediction on the pit strategy today there?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. You might have cut out a little bit there. I don't know if you was asking Roto or not, D. But
oh yeah, Roto.
I suspect you have to, when you're running in the rain, like the conditions these guys are running in tonight, and I believe most of this race is scheduled to be in the rain from what I've seen on the forecast. That being the case, I suspect these guys to run really cautiously. I don't see them using up a lot of tire wear, having a lot of tire wear on the tires. I suspect that, you know, they only may change out tires maybe one time this race, just about midways, depending upon their fuel strategy. So, yeah, I suspect that the tire wear will be a little lower than normal, because you can't really drive the car as hard as you would being on slicks or in dry conditions. So, I suspect that, maybe one set and you should be good to go.
Absolutely, and it does look like we still have a battle between 4th and 5th place position. Smoke was able to take it from Minear when you were talking. Minear went off the track a little bit, and Smoke is 3 seconds up on Minear, mid-near, and he is in 4th position now. I was talking about Smoke earlier, and Dad's taxi service has dropped back to like a 7-second deficit where he had it up to 5 seconds. So we're going to keep it here with Smoke and see how Smoke does for these next couple laps. Cyborg just has a dominating car, and as we do that, we're going to jump up here to Cyborg and take a look at Cyborg, see how he's handling the car. And even after this rain goes away, because it is scheduled to, the rain is going to be leaving in probably about half an hour time. This track is still going to be wet, probably all the way throughout the race. So do they keep wet tires? Do they go to slicks? Because the race line will dry up, but the rest of the track will stay wet. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of tires these guys run after the rain stops.
Yeah, I would say you'd almost have to keep those wets on. There's a lot of rainfall right now from what I'm seeing. There's a lot of puddles, and even if the race surface or the race line does dry out a little bit, one mistake out of that race line, and if you're on slicks, you're taking a really big chance. So I really think you're going to want to finish this race out on wet tires. I think it's just too risky putting slicks on, even if the rain does stop. So I suspect to see most of the field finish on wet tires.
And what's your thoughts on that same question there, Camaro Kid?
I've never really raced in the rain before. I'm gonna probably agree with Roto here, where even if you were put soft slicks on, you were to get out of your normal line, you wouldn't have a very good time with that car anymore.
And there you hear it from our two commentators of what they think about the tire selection as this race goes on. And it does not look like the water is puddling up too much. It is in that first turn on the outside of the tracks. It does look like it's puddling a little bit, but as we're back here running with Cyborg, which is taken back up to a 12-second lead over Dad's Taxi at 12 seconds behind the leader, almost 13 seconds behind the leader, but he has a pretty stout-looking car there. And as we go back here to the ST6 shoe, and he struggled on that first turn. He got so far back because he went a little wide on that first turn, but you can never count this guy out. As we go back to Minear, which is taking fourth position back over Smoke at 40 seconds, and it does look like he's going to go in for pits in that number 4 car in fourth position, and that gives Smoke the opportunity to take fourth position back away from him because he's pitting. And I wonder if that's a scheduled pit, being 20 minutes into this race, or because they've only ran about 8 laps on those tires. We'll have to keep an eye on him as we look at Smoke, which does look like his tires are going away as well. And then back here to Gotham in 6th position, which is 1 minute 43 seconds behind the leader, and Snag, which is almost 4 minutes behind the leader. And we're about 9 seconds between second and third, so we'll go to third place car and see if he can catch Dad's Taxi. And Roto, who are you watching, and would you like to call what you're seeing there for a little bit?
Yeah, I can only see what you can see, and as far as who you can follow. But I'll tell you one thing I have been watching. I've been watching SBGA Cyborg's lap times up here, and every lap that I've seen so far has been within a tenth or two of each other. And so the consistency is big when it comes to these long races and around these road courses, and that's just being constant, hitting your marks. And there, that lap was about a tenth off from what he ran the last lap. So I've been watching those lap times, and he's staying in that 220 mark. And I'm seeing, Dad's Taxi. The lap before he was at a 223. This lap here, he ran a 227. He's about 3/10 off of what Cyborg's at right now. I'm just watching the consistency of the laps as I see him on the leaderboard up here. And I tell you, Cyborg's car he's been really, really consistent as far as lap times. And that's kind of one thing that's really standing out to me. But I will say, though, Shoemaker's car, he's about a half a second to a second faster than Cyborg right now, and he's actually closed in almost another second on the second place. So that's something that we may want to keep an eye out on as well.
Very, very good point, and we will keep an eye on that. As you're right, as he dropped it, he has dropped it down to probably about 9-second gap between second and third. And that used to be 14 seconds. And we do have a car around. It does look like that was Gotham that went around. And Gotham is having a little bit of a rough day here today with the rain coming in. I just don't know if he was prepared for the rain, or did he, did they set the car up for dry conditions? All of a sudden this rain is caught him by surprise, or, just a rough day racing. As we're looking at Cyborg right here, which is 12 seconds ahead of Dad's Taxi Service now. And we're going to jump back here to ST6 and see where he's running. As the rain still keeps coming down here in Germany. As he goes down that long straightaway, getting ready to slow that car down for the sharp right turn. Well, as bad as the rain is, at least it ain't dark and raining, right? Then you'd have the glare of the headlights, right?
Yeah.
Camaro Kennedy, I was talking about those lap times from Cyborg. The last lap that he had ran was a 2:20.440. This lap that he just logged was a 2:20.449. That's how consistent that car is right now. That's been that consistent on the racetrack, and again, almost 8/10 to a second faster than Schumacher. And I tell you, there's an hour plus left in this race, guys. A lot of things can change in a short period of time.
Well, absolutely.
Looked like Snag had a bump start. Got him.
Yeah, got him, and Snag ran a really good qualifying run as well. And it does look like ST6 has went around. So I was just saying, as it looked like he was starting to catch him, but he did go around, and he just, all that time, he just lost all those minutes, all those seconds that he was gaining on second place car, and he just spun around again.
Snag just spun around also.
Yeah, guys, these rainy conditions are so hard to navigate, and you really have to be patient. And I think that's a guy with a super fast car. I think he knows it's fast, and I think he might have seen that lead dwindling in second place there. And at one point, it looked like he was down within about 7 seconds, and I think he was pushing there and knew he had a fast car, and just might have overdriven it there a little bit.
Yes, unfortunately, but sometimes that happens, right?
It does happen. While we do have a little bit of a break here, I'm pleased to announce, D, that we have a new team member joining SBGH. Got the confirmation on that today. I talked to Cyborg and he asked me to extend an invitation, and I did, and he accepted, and got his gamer tag set up today. That would be SBGH Vaughn.
Vaughn came, okay. Very, very, very talented driver. So them coming over to SBGH, is he still going to be running the NASCAR stuff as well as Project Cars?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of take him under my wing a little bit with the NASCAR circuit, and I think we've kind of chit-chatted a little bit, and we're going to become partners in the NASCAR circuit, and going to take him under my wing a little bit, and talked with him a little bit last night, and plan to do that a little bit again this evening, and help him out with the NASCAR circuit, and help him out with Project Cars as well.
And that is very exciting news. Well,
looks like Smoke's already taking another pit stop.
I tell you what, I don't want to jinx him, but Cyborg is running away with this thing right now. You know, how much of that that plays last week plays in his head? Does he keep a mental note of, you know, blowing an engine? Is he worried about it? Is he put it out? Is he blocked it out of his head? We'll just have to see. You know, it's just a man that races, does not make very many mistakes. You know, and when he does, it's usually either when he's relaxed like this, because he just logging laps out in the front. We'll just have to keep an eye on him because he has a 21-second over lead, second place car, which is Dad's taxi.
Yeah, he's not making that mistake again. You know, he in talking with him last week, he had came over to the booth afterwards, and it was just a missed shift. He had went from, I believe, from 5th to 3rd or from 6th to 3rd. I'm not sure which it. I don't remember exactly what he had told me, but it was a missed shift, and it was just a driver error, and you know, he's not going to make that mistake again. I highly doubt. You're out here to almost 22-second lead. It's just being patient and just running smooth, consistent laps. And again, I'm watching those lap times, and they're still within 2-3 tenths of each other every lap, and that's pretty consistent in these conditions. You know, that's you know, for me, being new to the road course world, that's pretty consistent.
Absolutely, and you know, he's also looking at the bigger picture because he did have a mishap in the very first race of this series, and ended up spinning. Him and Iceman got into it. And I know he was beating himself up over that, and he was looking at this race to kind of redeem himself, and it looks like so far in this race he's doing that. With 30 minutes under the gone away from this race and another hour still to go, and this, you're right, this thing could unfold any which way right now. But right now we'll just sit here and watch Cyborg and enjoy the SPGH in P1 position, followed by Dad's Taxi, which represented by Project Cars Racing Club in second. And then ST6 has his driver up there in third position, that's Shu. And then our independent contractor, our independent racer would be Minear in fourth. And then D4C Gotham, representing D4C, is in fifth. And SPGH's other members in sixth position have a little bit of issues. And then D4C's representing the last position with D4C Snag. And it does look like there was a car off the track a little bit. We'll have to see who that was. It does look like he got it. I do believe that was Gotham that went off the track a little bit. Oh, and we have another driver off the track. It does look like that was Pioneer. Oh, and once you get it in that road, in that grass with the wet conditions, you're gonna play heck getting those tires cleaned off. But he does have it away as he tries to shake the tires clean. As we'll keep an eye on him for a little bit. Pioneer was still able to keep fourth position after that little mayhem. And right now our top three, 26 seconds behind the leader is Dad's Taxi. And then ST6 is 36 seconds behind the leader, 10 seconds behind second place driver. Over to you, Rhoda. What's your thoughts right now on this race, what you're seeing?
I've been watching the lap times of Schumacher, and I've been watching that gap just close. At one point, after that little mishap he had spinning the car there, he was down to almost 18, 19 seconds to second place Dad's Taxi. That lead is down to somewhere around 8, 9 seconds looking at the lap times right now. So that car, he's back on pace, and he's running back to running consistent laps, and he's pulling that lead down. And there's still almost an hour left into this. He's 30-some seconds behind Cyborg right now, so anything can happen with pit strategy. But Schumacher right now, he's really made a good comeback after that little mishap.
Right, and if you look at the lap times right now, Dad had a 2:30, which now he had and ST6 has a 2:19, so right there alone, that last lap is where he made it all up, because you're right, he is within 6 seconds of the second place car right now.
Yeah, and I've been following those lap times of Schumacher just as well as I have been for Cyborg, and Cyborg had been in the consistent 220 mark up until this last lap where he ran a 222. But Schumacher has lost several laps in that 219 range. I don't know how consistent that's been. I'm going to watch that the next few laps here and see how consistent that car is. But if that car is consistently running 219s and is about a half a second faster than Cyborg, we could have a race in just about 10-15 laps here.
Right. And we're going to scroll over here to Cyborg as he's caught some lap traffic and see how he gets around that. And we'll go back to the battle for second here in a second. As Cyborg looks like he is caught him. Now, smoke. No, he caught my ear. As Cyborg looks to the inside. I mean, one thing he wants to do is be patient here, because it is a lap car, but we'll just have to keep here and see how he does. Oh, and
yeah, I think once Cyborg closes that gap between him and that lap car, I suspect that lap car to build a little courteous to the leader, and I think he'll give him plenty enough race room to make that pass cleanly.
And as fun as it is watching the leader pass lap traffic, we're going to jump back here to second and third place, because the gap is now within a second. ST6 has caught Dad's Taxi.
Yeah, in that lap, ST6 was a half a second faster than Cyborg, our current leader. So he's really making some ground up.
And that's another thing is, Dad goes up and that gives ST6 the side view of Casey inside, and he tucks in behind him as they go down here, and we'll see if he can make the pass in this sweeping S-turn as he goes a little wide, and he is all over Dad's Taxi.
Pioneer and Cyborg just bumped each other on a turn. Cyborg managed to get around him at least.
Oh, and Dad is around, and that gives ST6 second position. And it does look like Dad's taxi just lost control of the car and spun it around, and we're going to jump back here, and he is able to get it going, but with losing 8 seconds off second place driver. Now we're going to keep an eye on ST6, see if he can't run down that leader, because if he does get a second or two per lap, we still got at 50 minutes to go. We still have 25 laps in this race, and we'll have to see, you know, the strategy as the rain is slowing down a little bit. We'll have to see what kind of tires they put on, when they pit, you know.
Yeah, see that little mishap that that Camaro kid had just mentioned between Cyborg and Minear, that costed Cyborg quite a bit of time. Looking at the lap time, that was a 2:23 lap. Schumacher ran a 2:20, so that was quite a bit of time right there lost for Cyborg, as that lead seems to be down under 33 seconds now. So, yeah, you know, about 15 laps. If this gap keeps closing, we could have a race on our hands here, guys.
Absolutely. Oh, and another car is around. It does look like it's got him. Has spun around into the grass as he tries to get his car restarted.
Second place just spun up and was able to keep his place.
You're right, which gives Dad closing the gap a little bit, as ST6 in second place is 40 seconds behind the leader. You know, which it says it's clearing, it's starting to go into heavy, but it is still raining, but it does look like the rain is clearing up a little bit right here. We got probably another 3-4 minutes of rain is what the Weather Channel is telling us. The radar Doppler is telling us that this rain is going away. So after it goes away, we'll have to see what kind of tire strategy, because they have been out there for 40 minutes on the same tires. Well, at least the first 4 drivers have not changed tires, I believe. Well, at least the top 3 have not been into the pits. I don't know if Minear has or not.
Minear's gone to the pits, I think, twice now.
Yeah, because he is 2 minutes behind. And what a tough day for D4C Snag, as he's almost 8 minutes behind the leader. And we'll scroll over here to our leader that was able to pass another lap traffic without no incident. And, you know, Roto, you were big on those lap times. Look at where Cyborg's lap times, almost as quick as he has ran today. He logged that last lap at 2:20.36.
Yeah, and that's where, in most of the laps that I've been watching, again, you know, we were talking about tire wear just a little bit ago, and that tells me from you know 5, 6, 10 laps ago, the tire fall off has not been that much. I mean, you know, a Schumacher sometimes will log a 219 and still lay down with the lap. But a Cyborg is consistently in the 220 mark, and he's been within 2 or 3 tenths. So the tire wear is not that far off. I think I'm still sticking to my theory of saying, even if this rain lets up and it does quit, I'm going to stick on them rain tires, because I don't think the racetrack is just going to dry up just enough. If you look at the track temperature, I don't think it's just going to be enough to dry the racetrack up, and I think you're going to stick on rain tires to finish this thing.
Right, and then, I mean, that's another thing. If you're Cyborg, do you get fresh tires? And then if you're Shoe, do you elect to skip the tires, knowing when you go out they're going to be a little slippery at first, and run the whole race, just go in for fuel and try to gang some of that 40 seconds up? Because you're right, the tires are not going away, but they are going to have to come in for fuel.
Yeah, if you're a Cyborg at this point, if you're watching the tire fall off, and I'm sure that he is, and I'm sure all these drivers are, and that lap was within 3/10 of his last one. But watching the tire fall off, if I'm Cyborg, I'm coming in for fuel, and I'm going to hope that I can maintain that almost 40-second lead that I have, being almost halfway through this race. If my lap times are pretty consistent, my tires ain't seem to be falling off. Yeah, I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna skip on the tires. I'm taking fuel and I'm heading out. And that's really going to force the hands of the guys behind him, second, third, fourth. They're going to have to play almost to the same strategy he is, and that's really going to force them to really use up their car at this point. And yeah, I'm taking fuel and going with it.
See, and I understand that theory. See, I would do it a little different. If I was Cyborg, I'd come in and I'd get 2 fresh front tires, fill the thing with fuel, knowing that I got a better handling car than everybody. I would take a 20-second deficit on that lead to get the 2 tires and make everybody else run without brand new tires. Or if they do get tires, then I'm still the 40 seconds up. But I'd go the other way. I'd put the hand into them, forcing them to run out old tires while I had a fresh new set of tires on the front. I wouldn't per se do back tires, but I would do 2 front tires. That's how I would play it.
And that's an option that could be played out as well. That's what makes this racing so good and makes it so great, is the amount of strategies that go into it. These races are an hour and a half long, and being an hour and a half long, we're about halfway through at this point, and that's what makes this racing so good, is so many strategies and how it can play out. That's what makes it fun to watch, and I hope the viewers are having a good time watching as much as I am, just being able to be a part of it, because so many strategies can play out here.
Well, absolutely. And, and I think it would also have to do, I think Cyborg will stay out until either A, the tires go away, or B, the fuel goes away. I don't see him pitting until the very last, because he's not losing that lead. Okay, he lost 2 seconds right now off, but he still has a 37-second lead over second place.
I've been watching the lap times too, and that's really about how I've been gauging a lot. The lap times are pretty consistent. I mean, between him and Schumacher their lap times are consistent. I mean, they're within a couple, 2 or 3 tenths of each other. Schumacher's, as time winds down here under just less than halfway to go in this race, about 43 minutes and some change. Schumacher's really going to have to go to work here, and he's not catching Cyborg at that rate that he had been. So
well, absolutely, because it is back up to 39 seconds, with just a lap ago he dropped it down to a 37.9. Now he's at a 39.3. So you're right. I mean, definitely a lot of different factors that we're looking at right here, and 43 minutes to go in this race. And it does look like Dad's Taxi was catching him and spun out a little bit. And now he's almost a minute, well, he is a minute behind the leader. We'll just have to keep an eye here and see how this plays out. And you've been a little quiet back there, Camaro Kid. What's your thoughts on this race and what you've seen so far?
Going off what Roto said earlier about the track temp, it has gone up 10 degrees since the start of the race. So that can play a role with the tires and all that.
Right.
It's very true. Yeah, that could. I mean, if the rain dies off, and as the rain dies off, yeah, I'm starting to see some sunshine. It looks like a little bit too in the one part of the racetrack. Indeed, you'd know more on that than I would. But if that racetrack, if the temperature does rise, I mean, that racetrack might be able to dry out. Again, it's, you know, these races, man, they're so much fun to call and be a part of, and the strategies behind it, that just makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, and as we're watching that, you're talking about strategy. I was in a little debate with one of the team members over there on the SBGH Turn 3 Racing, and we debated about tire wear on an oval track. You know, because they're running ×3 tire wear. And my argument, and I want your thoughts on this, my argument is they're taking away the tire strategy from the driver by running ×3, because if you run a ×3 wear on an oval, you'll have to get tires every single time. But if they run normal wear, as long as their races are, you can have guys to try to short pit to get the better times. What's your thoughts on that, Roto?
Yeah, I think a meet in the middle with that is really good. I think a ×2. That gets you more of a realistic race feel from what fuel runs are on NASCAR Heat in comparison to what they are in NASCAR Real World. A ×2 where kind of gets you within that same fuel mileage and really opens up that tire window and those tire options. And you've got racetracks like ISM, which is notorious for eating up the right sides, but you know, do you take 2 tires and go with rights? I mean, you can really open up that. Yeah, ×3 to me is a little much. I think it forces the issue of you're going to take 4 tires every time you stop. You are pitting every 20 laps. You're not getting a really good fuel run. The racing is just kind of too short for me. I like putting it in the driver's hands and making the drivers more think in their mind, more certain of the decisions they make on pit road versus, you know, having multiple times to pit and be able to fix it. You know, that's the type of racer I am. I like to be really dead set on the decisions I make. So that's why I put in the practice time that I put in. But yeah, I agree, D. You know, at ×2 I think would be fair. Most of racing leagues around the NASCAR world run on a ×2 because that's about where the fuel mileage runs into play with that. So,
right, and talking about NASCAR, this Sunday we have our debut. Race for the Chase NASCAR Series on Project Cars, Indianapolis. We're running 250 miles, which I do believe is 100
laps at Indianapolis.
100 laps at Indianapolis. And we are full sims racing on Project Cars. So damage will be on, fuel is normal, tires normal, and it should be an interesting long race there. And we also have our IROC series starting on Saturday mornings, or Saturday mid-afternoons. I think it's 12 Eastern. And we are starting out, I believe, in a Porsche at Sonoma National. If any information, or if you are interested Join our club page, Project Cars of America. Do the looking for groups and look us up on our webpage at www.sbghostings.com. Over to you there, Camaro Kid. What's your thoughts on this race so far?
Right now I'm watching Dad's taxi, and he seems to be taking turns a lot more wide than he was originally. And he seems to be not being able to go as fast through the turns and whatnot.
Oh, and it does look like ST got off the track. He had a cone underneath his car going in that last U-turn before the straightaway, but he is able to get it back up to speed as he still has, as the track's still throwing up a lot of water, but it does look like heavy cloud is in the forecast right now, but it is still drizzling a little bit.
Yeah, I think if we get down to with about a half hour or so to go in this race, I think these guys are going to stay on those wet tires. I really do. I'm looking at Cyborg, and Cyborg just laid down a 219. And that lead has not changed. That lead's consistently around 39-40 mark as far as seconds. So, yeah, these guys are going to probably finish this race out on wet tires. If I'm Cyborg, either option as far as pitting goes, you know, I'm going to roll out. But at best, taking two fronts and rolling.
It does look like Cyborg has some traffic in front of him that he has to try to pass.
I've noticed too the track temperature has risen a couple more degrees, so that's something else that we need to keep an eye on too. Is as track temperatures warms up, how are they going to play a factor on the tire wear of the wet tires? You know, I'm a little new to the Project Cars world, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
Got him just spun off the track. And he just got into snag and spun out again. Snag and got him not seem to be able to run close to each other. They seem to be continuing to get into each other.
I'll have to check out what's going on with Big D. If he's having some technical difficulties over there.
I did. My mic shut off. I am so sorry about that. As I said, that you guys didn't hear me because my mic decided it did not want to work. So I'm going to do a running through the field, and why don't you call it there, Roto, go through the field with me. You call it, I'll change the cameras to the thing, and we'll start out with P1 position. Cyborg, what's your thoughts on him today right now?
Yeah, absolutely. As we get down within about 34 minutes to go with this race, our current leader in P1 position is SBGA Cyborg. You know, one thing I've been watching that's really been telltale for this car and his driving is the fact that his lap times are really, really consistent. He's maintaining about a 40-second lead as this race winds down to about the last 30 minutes or so to go. So I suspect to see that car continuously to get faster. The temperature on the racetrack is rising. The rain is starting to move out. the lap times are going to continue to be faster. So I suspect Cyborg to continue on with what he's doing and just continue to be consistent and lay down good lap times. As we move on to P2 position here, Big D, we'll move over to Shumanator. We've been watching Shumanator's lap times as we go in-car looks with Shumanator here to those lap times, and he's been really consistent with what our current leader in Cyborg has been able to do. He's maintained, not been really been able to gain any time on our leader, but he's maintaining that as far as being over second place and holding a strong second place. He just ran a 2:17 lap times, so those lap times are coming down. It's very possible as we see that the track temperature change and the rain move out that we could see something happen within the next 30 minutes and a race come with this, and he make a really good strong push for it. Romero, Ken, how about you take over Dad's Taxi in third place here?
Dad's Taxi seems to be doing pretty good. He hasn't been able to catch Shumanator, but he has been able to keep Milo near off him when they were actually near each other. And he seems to be running around the same lap time as he has been since the beginning. Then going to P4 Pioneer, he's not having a very good race. He spun out a couple of times and hit a wall hard the one time, so he had to go back to the pits, which brought him down. But he was able to get past got him. So he was able to continue and still be able to get over into the top 5. And Big D, if you want to do got him.
And where he has to go over to got him does look like he has a little bit of hood damage, but it does look like he is trying to make the best out of a bad situation as he is going through the S-turns, and it does look like his lap times are around almost 3 minutes, which is way off base, but you know what? He's not giving up, he's running it, and he's looking consistent. You know, a little bit more drive time, I bet this guy will be in contention as we go back to our own SPGH Smoke. And Smoke is running in 6th position. He has a very clean looking car, and it does look like he has got him. See if he can't take that position back from him as we're riding along with him as they do that sharp right turn. It does look like got him loose. But it does look like he does have a pretty good car. He just had a couple bad incidents. And back to D4C Snag has really big hood damage. Aero in this car is probably not very good, and that's probably what we're seeing because it's not sticking to the track, especially under these wet conditions. And he's running well, his last lap time was really bad. He must have spun out because as he goes around again, it's almost hits the wall. And we will go back here to trackside with Cyborg. And that, viewers, is going to the field with SBGH. As we're looking at Cyborg has now a 45-second lead over second place, ST62. As we will sit here with 30 minutes to go in this race. It does look like the rain has cleared out, and it does look like some of the track is clearing out already. I thought the puddles would have stayed a lot longer, but looking at the track, I mean, it's still moist, but the puddles are not what I thought they would be. What about you, Roto?
Yeah, in some of the areas of the racetrack, I thought would have still been pretty wet, but from what I'm seeing here as we follow along the Cyborg, I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. I could be wrong with my tire strategy. As the racetrack and the temperatures warm up, I don't know how far into the evening this is supposed to go or what time this race is scheduled to be over time-wise, but yeah, the racetrack seems to be drying up, and the more that these drivers run these lines within this racing groove, you had mentioned the race line will dry up. I still think, though, under 30 minutes left in this, I'm going to finish out on wet tires. I would. I don't think I would risk it this late into the game unless I seen something drastic change. I don't think I would change anything.
Right, because that last lap time was Cyborg's fastest lap time at 2:18 in this race so far. Now, mind you, he qualified at a 2. Excuse me. He qualified at 2:11 on dry conditions. But as you see, that part of the track is still really wet. Even though the track is dry in the first half of it and the front half, the back half is still really wet because he's pulling up water from his tires.
Yeah, and I don't know. As a driver, some of the things that you pay attention to is that lead, or if you're not in the lead, the deficit you have. And if I'm Cyborg, I'm looking at lap times and I'm watching. I'm not changing anything. I'm just not. I might still be 7 seconds off the laps that I qualified, but I'm still getting faster as the racetrack dries out. And if I can maintain the lead that I have, why change it? Just finish out with what you're on and take what fuel necessary to finish out this race. And see, that time was almost a second and a half faster than his lap before. 2:17 too.
And his car looks really stable, so you're right. I think I would just keep it until... But as you notice during the rain, those tires were blue. Now they're starting to turn a little bit green, kind of turquoise, meaning that he's getting more heat into those tires. So that's another factor with the rain tires. In dry conditions, they wear up even quicker than in wet conditions. So definitely, just check out the telemetry on those tires.
Yeah, he's going to watch that, and I'm sure all these drivers are. His lead is up almost. It's up over 52 seconds or so now, and it just keeps getting. I think that there's going to be enough wear in those tires to finish out this lap, about the last 25 minutes of this race.
And he still has 36 liters of fuel, which I do believe that'll put him 1 or 2 laps shy of completing this race on a full tank.
So in the NASCAR world, we call that a splash and go.
And it does look like Cyborg is about ready to catch second place car, Shoe, to put him a lap down. Which he's been known to do that lap the whole field before. Because he is so consistent and he is so competition orientated. Yeah, that's what it is. As we're starting to go down on our daylight is starting to go away and night is starting to fall, which is also going to be another factor of this race. But I think if Cyborg just keeps his nose clean, he pretty much can walk away with this thing today.
To note, his last lap was 2:16.8. In comparison to the 2:17.2 he ran the lap before. So he's about 4 tenths right now faster than what he ran the lap before.
Which I did have a little telemetry error. He is not going to pass second place car because he's probably about half a lap in front of him. It was showing me the wrong car on the lead lap. So So, as that being said, he is not going to put ST6 alive down as of right now. But not to say that he wouldn't do it towards the end of this race, because there is 23 minutes left in this race, and it is anything could happen from here on out. And I do want to thank you viewers for joining in and watching this SBGH hosted event. And the host, was presented by SBGH. It's hosted by ST6/D4C DTM series. What a tongue twister that is. And you can watch the replay on our YouTube channel. That's Shatter Game Hosting YouTube channel. Or our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/SBGHostings.com. And it does look like Cyborg is going in for pits. His first and only pit. He is into the pits, as we will keep it here and see what kind of deficit Shu can.
Yeah, let's see what he does with tires too here. I mean, that's going to be interesting to tell as well. As Dad's taxi is in as well.
Yeah, it does look like they're changing tires. Which is probably the smart move. Fueling tires, get it fueled up. It does look like he's putting a full tank of fuel in that. He probably likes the car a little bit better as they change tires right here. He's getting all 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And in the NASCAR world, it would be Sunoco fuel. I do believe they run Exxon here. Or maybe Chevron. Or we can just say
Seems like this is a really long time on pit road.
It was, but I do believe he wanted to play it safe and he wanted a better handling car. That car must have went away really quick. And he was almost a minute up, so I bet he figured, you know what? Oh, and Shu takes the lead from him, but Shu has not pitted, and Shu goes out wide, and Cyborg takes the lead. And we do have a battle for the lead right here, but Cyborg is on fresh tires where ST6 is not, and we'll just have to see how this plays out. You know, you gotta wonder if that was the right move. What's your thoughts, Terry?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Cyborg back on wet tires? Is that what I'm seeing up here?
He is.
Yeah, see, I think that's the right call, because does Shu have to pit still yet? Does Schumacher still have to pit? Do we know?
Yeah, he's down to 28 liters of fuel, and his tire wear is. His car is probably not going to be as good as handling as Cyborg, because he's not been in pits, and they have ran what? Hour and 10 minutes so far on the same set of tires.
Yeah, that's the right call. Props to Cyborg. I don't know that I would have went with 4 tires, but I would have definitely went with 2, as you had mentioned. It looks like that this could very well play out in his favor, as we are down with under 20 minutes of this race. So yeah, that's a good call, I think. Man, it's a big call to make. I will say that's to go for 4 tires and full fuel. That's a pretty big call to make, and he made it, and he made it work, and came back out with the lead. So
right.
I think we do have a couple of cars parked in the garage with a couple of blown motors, if I've seen that right.
Yeah, D4C got him and Snag have retired. That puts 5 drivers in the race. And only 2 drivers on lead lap, and that's your P1 and P2 position. Which, I mean, as you see, 2 laps after that pit stop, he is now 8 seconds ahead of the second place car. So I think he made the right decision, even though it was kind of risky taking all 4 tires. Look at that, he's gaining by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, that's going to play out to be the right call for him. It's definitely going to work out. You know, that really forces the hand of what Schumacher's going to do at this point. But, you know, I think unless something drastic really happens here, I'd say this is the right call. This is the winning call, I believe. We could say still a little early to make that call, but seems like it very well could be the right one.
Absolutely, and when we get done, we will go into we'll bring in the top 3 drivers and see if they're up for interviews.
So yeah, as we're looking forward to later on in the week, we do have a couple of new leagues firing up. Dave, if you want to touch base on those.
Right. Well, we have on Saturday mornings or midday, 12 Eastern, our annual IROC series, which we're starting out in a Porsche 935, I believe, is the Porsche that we're running, and we're doing it at Sonoma National, and that is ran at 12 o'clock Eastern time. And then Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I believe, is our NASCAR circuit. It's going to be starting at Indianapolis. And don't forget about the money payout event on Thursday nights. It is Week 5, and that is our LMP1 series. Winner of that series, 12-week series, gets $50 worth of Microsoft money. So even though we're 5 weeks into it, you're more than welcome to join in and see if you can at least get a 3rd place finish in that league. Bad fast drivers in that series. I mean, we have Cyborg, and we have Case Master, and TRG Fuji is in the top 3 positions for that. But hey, you know, you can come in and have fun with those LMP1 cars. You ran your first race last week there, Roto. What did you think about that LMP series?
No, I had a blast. I'll be honest, I did. I had a blast. I was disappointed in myself for a couple reasons. One, the contact made with SBGA Cyborg, and then the contact made with you. I really beat myself up over that. I try as hard as I can try to be the most clean racer that I can be, and when that happens, man, it's just devastating to me. But you know, overall, we was able to come out with a 2nd place finish that race. So I was ecstatic about that. It was my first debut within that series, and so that was a good time. I had a lot of fun, and I tell you, you know, those guys in there are fast. You know, Case Master's fast, and TRG, he's fast. Of course, Cyborg is always there, and I think the biggest news coming from that, though, was the announcement that you made of going to retire from the LMP1 series and focus more on the broadcasting and promotion of the series. So, props to you for making that decision. I'm sure that was hard. But overall, we had a good time.
My owner there of that car offered you a ride in that car. Have you thought about that? Are you been able to work out a race schedule to take over my points, or?
I'll be honest, we're trying to match schedules here and do what we can. I really would like to step into that ride, and I'm good with the shoes that I would have to fill. I think that I can be talented enough to finish inside the top 3, teammate with Cyborg. Right now, what makes it difficult is the other obligations that I'm upholding and that I've dedicated myself to before the start of me joining in with SBGH in this series. So, yeah, we're tossing around some things. We're going to see if we can make it happen. We'll just have to kind of play it by ear right now and see what we can do.
Right, but I mean, it will play out the way it does, and if you can't do it because of the prior obligations, fully understood on the side of it, and we're back here, and Cyborg is still dominating. He is back up to a 56-second lead because it does look like ST6 has made a quick stop, but he is around.
Yeah, he pitted, yep.
ST6 in second place has went around as he turns his car around. A little unorthodox method.
Heavy contact into the wall, too.
Oh, and he stalled the car. And he got it restarted.
That's devastating.
That is.
Yeah, that's devastating. Getting down with under 15 minutes of this race left puts them almost just 10 minutes. And to have that happen, that's devastating.
Well, regardless of your decision back on that, I'm sure you're going to make debuts there on the IROC and the NASCAR circuit as much as you can, and we look forward to running with you and definitely have fun with you side by side with the broadcasting, and having Camaro Kid in here for the first time, and it's a little shy on the mic because it's his first one, but you do a very good job there, Camaro Kid. What's your thoughts right now on the whole race and events that are coming up? Are you going to be able to race any of these events that are coming up?
I'm gonna try to do on Saturdays the races I can do, but I know when summer hits and I don't have school and all that, I'm not gonna be able to do like any races because we go to a lot of shows and all that. So I'm gonna try to get as many races as I can during the time that I can, and then over the summer I can do the ones that I can to try to.
Absolutely. Well, we enjoy running with you regardless of how many races you can do, and that's one thing here on the SVGH race team, that you do what you can do in your life. Personal life actually comes first, and racing is just what you do to fill that adrenaline rush that you have. And being so young and being in racing, you are in for quite a career of racing, and I can't wait to watch you grow and develop in these race cars. And back over to you, Roto.
Yeah, we're winding down to just under 10 minutes left in this race, and Cyborg maintains that lead, and it actually gapped after that incident with a Schumacher with heavy contact into the wall that he had made. So, I would say he at this point in the race, barring any major mechanic failures or issues, I would say this could very well turn out to be the running order that. Barring any mechanical issues. I ain't trying to jinx the man. I don't want that on my shoulders.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing to me. It's not working out. I've actually wished him when I was running side to side. Cyborg, would you just crash out? I need to catch you. But that's our little competition, and we push each other and intimidate each other. We do like Cyborg, yeah. And I named that Cyborg because we'll get right up on the bumper of somebody and play the intimidator and try to get you to make a mistake. And that's one thing he's done today. He's ran almost a flawless race today. Not trying to jinx him, but you know what? Apples are apples and oranges are oranges. And I'm going to call it the way it is, and he knows that. And there's no superstition in racing in our eyes. It's all about the car, it's all about setup, and it's all about driver error. the least amount of
You can
driving
make. You can take any car and make it fast, but unless the guy behind the wheel can make that car go fast, you gotta have the total package, and that's what makes this racing here so much more fun and so much more difficult, I think, than other forms of racing. You're right. You gotta have the car, and you have to have the setup in the car, but then you have to have the driver fit the total package. And when you have that, I think as a driver, from a driver standpoint, it's a lot of fun. Talking about that LMP one race that I finished second in, that's the most comfortable I felt behind the wheel of one of these cars being on a road course. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I felt really fast and felt like I had a car that could contend. I think I ate up my front tires a little too quick and pushed a little harder in areas I shouldn't have. And rookie mistakes for a rookie road course racer, but overall, man, still happy about that. But yeah, we're pushing down to just a little under 7.5 minutes here, and Cyborg is still laying down really good laps. And, his lane's still up to a minute 13, looks like, on the counter over here. So.
Well, absolutely. And, and that's one thing about having a good crew chief. About 3 years ago, me and Cyborg started running together. And I kind of took over tuning his cars for him because when he came on the road course, he was like, well, he come from the dirt series. So it was a little bit unique situation to start. He was driving these cars like a dirt car, and I had to tame him. But with doing that, I learned and we developed together. So when I tune his car, you're right. It is about having a good car, but it's also about having a good driver. And knowing a driver, watching him go up through it, same with you and the same with, Camaro Kid here, watching you guys and being able to, according to your driving style. Like Cyborg has a really loose style, where he don't mind that car's rear end going out because he's used to doing that on dirt, where you get somebody like Camaro Kid here that is not used to that, and he'll lose control of it because there's a lot of counter steering happening. And, it's all about fun, right?
That's the main thing. That's the main thing, is having fun. That's the goal. Anytime that I get into any league race, that's the goal. Is to have fun and be competitive, but have fun being competitive, and making that transition from the NASCAR circuit over to project cars and road course racing has been a little bit of a trying transition for me. I have the ability to tell you what the car's doing. I don't really fully yet have the ability to fix what the car's doing, so we struggle in some areas with that, but we're learning, and it's a lot of fun. And we're down to about 5 minutes to go here, D, and that lead is still pretty much about the same. So I don't know who's following our current leader there, Cyborg. I don't know if that's
As
Minear or who that is.
Yep.
But
that's my ear.
yeah, he's pushing a little hard on the leader there, I think, at this point in the race. He's not really going to gain anything extra than where he's at. And not sure what's going on over in the driver's communication. That might just be something they're doing for fun in the later part of the race here, but seems like that's really hard driving at this point in the stage, or this point in the race, for a lap down car. But hey, I'm in the booth and they're on the racetrack, so.
Well, absolutely, and it does look like he has a dominating lead over everybody as another car goes off into the... I do believe that was Smoke that took his car off of the track. Oh, Dad is in the gravel. And it does look like these cars have just went away, which it does look like Dad is not pitted for a while because he's down to 14 liters of fuel. And his tires seem to be somewhat okay. He just has an ill running car there. As I go back up here to Shoe and back up to Cyborg. As we are down to 3 minutes, so we probably have 2 more laps here to go before this race is over, as it's almost fully dark now. As Cyborg overtakes another driver.
Yeah, these race conditions right now, I tell you, they started out in some pretty cool temperatures. In a lot of heavy rain, to the transition period where the rain had kind of slacked off, the sun started to pop straight into evening time, no rain, heavy cloud, and here we are to where it's just plumb dark. And the visibility, if you can get us an in-car shot, D, just show our viewers kind of the visibility these racers have right now. This racetrack's not very lighted at all. Give us a, yeah, I mean that's the visibility you have at some of these road courses that we run on, and you ain't seeing very far in front of you, that's for sure.
And I wonder what Cyber's thoughts are with having that driver right on his rear end. Oh, and he takes him. And he takes him out a little bit, and then he spins out. I wonder if Cyborg's going to retaliate here a little bit. Wait for it, wait for it. This is Cyborg at its finest. You want to mess with me? You know what? I'll just shut off my headlights for a little bit just to mess with you. You see that?
I do see that. I want to, we need to question Cyborg about that with Minear there. I watched that a couple of laps ago. That just seems really aggressive type of driving at this point in the race, especially with the leader. Yeah, I know he's got a minute ahead, but I mean, let's be realistic. If he puts that car over to the gravel pit, there's a lot of damage done to this. That second place car can really make up a lot of time.
Right, which has not been the case so far, but you're right. It does look like this will be the last lap. The white flag did come out. And that was very big discipline on Cyborg's part not to retaliate against Minear, because he could have so easily put him into the wall. But you're right. He's looking at the points picture, and he's looking at the bigger picture of winning this race, which that last incident, he ended up losing 7 seconds off the second place, which he is still up by over a minute. So I think he'll just baby this car around. Maybe do a little intimidation with his lights or something, just to let him know that, hey, you know what, I'm still here. But he has no purpose or no reason to try to pass him.
No, not at this point. You just got a few corners left, and you've won this race, and that's. If I'm Cyborg again, just being a broadcaster, not knowing what's going on inside the driver's chat right now, I'm going to put that in the back of my mind, and I'm going to remember that at some point in time down the line, and then we're going to repay that favor at some point. You know what I mean? From a driver standpoint. But yeah, this does look to be the last lap here. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, thank you. I'm glad you switched that over. I was hoping to see what happens here. But contact right there, heavy contact between the two cars.
Yeah, it's
He's
probably
got that
getting to
car
be-
back on.
Yeah, probably being so boring running up there by himself. He might have just said, "Hey, let's race to the start-finish line and see how it works out." Because, I mean, he's just putting over to the start-finish line, and he's still going to finish a minute ahead as he starts flashing his lights as he wins this race. Cyborg is the winner. Okay. And let's go back here to second place car now and watch him come across the start finish line.
What a wild race. That's wild. The conditions these drivers battled all race long, and the things they went through, you know. If you're Shumanator, you want a little bit more of a cleaner run. I think if he could have kept the car a little more cleaner and the mistakes at a minimum there, he could have maybe had made a run at Cyborg. As at one point in time in the race, he might have been a little bit faster, but all in all, still, you know, a solid second place. I think he was, what, last week's winner, was he not, or week before?
Yes.
Winner.
And Cyborg, so he keeps
all in
the
all,
points lead because Cyborg in the first race finished third, I believe.
Yeah, solid race, you know, solid race for that second place car right there. So yeah, top 5, Cyborg, SPGA Cyborg. Is it ST6?
Yes.
ST6 Shumanator comes home in second. Dad's Taxi in third. Minear comes home in fourth. And SPGA Smoke, also known as Ridge, comes home in fifth. That's your top 5 for tonight's race.
And then we'll head over after this race is done. We'll head over to the drivers and get first 3 interviews.
Yeah,
As that completes the race.
Yeah, if you'll just shoot me an invite, yeah, I'll hop in there with you, man.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Oh, that's wrong. I'm jumping over there. I'll shoot you an invite as soon as I get over there.
Oh yeah, my car was going away bad. Yeah, my starter car. I should have went to slicks if I stayed with wet tires. I should have threw slicks. I didn't think the track was going to dry out that much. Whew. Oh, give me a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh my god.
All right. Nice race.
Glad that's over.
Oh boy. So since Dad stepped away, we will be interviewing Cyborg, ST6, and Minear. Oh no, you don't have a mic, so we'll have to go to Smoke. And in that, very nice race and very enjoyable to watch on this side of it. And who retired out of the race first? Was it Gotham or Snag for the points?
Brandon dipped out first, and then Snack.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and that'll be posted. Not only will I post it in group chat, it'll also be on the web page, on the home page. I'll put it as an image. So it'll be 2 different places.
Alright. Oh, man. I could punch myself in the face after this race, man. Oh, jeez. I fiddled with the car after qualifying, and it just was crap at the beginning of the race. It would not turn.
Anyway, 12 Cyborg is away. We'll interview him next. ST6, you got your audio included, right?
Yes, I do.
So yeah, starting that race out, having a top qualifying car, well not top, but you were within a half second of Cyborg in P2 position, and you went into that first corner, and you kind of went wide, and then it looks like your day, you tried to recover, and it just went worse from bad to worse. What was your thoughts throughout today, and what did you try to do as far as race strategy?
Yeah, during practice and qualifying, the car wasn't biting up front, so going to the race, I sort of panicked last minute and did some changes. And when I got into the rain, it just shoved all the way. The first probably hour, the car was just shoving. Back at the beginning of the race, I lost force feedback, and I had to pull it and reset it, and I think it came back okay. I don't know, something felt weird, but anyway. Yeah, the car just shoved all race long, and then I stayed out probably a lap too long after the track ride, and then from then on out I was actually pretty good. I feel like at the beginning we had a car that could have competed for the win. We even set a faster lap time than Cyborg, but Cyborg just had the better car all around. That was just my fault. I set the car up bad and I made all the mistakes. So. I hate it, but oh well. Finish second. It's not bad.
Right, well, unofficially, it does look like you still have the points lead because you won the first race. So you were most, like I said, unofficially, you still have the points lead, I believe, by 1 point. And, I mean, that's for as ill of handling car as your car had throughout the race. Congratulations on keeping that point lead. Like I said, it's unofficial. I'll have the points posted in the group chat and on our webpage. And very nice race. That was very enjoyable. And over to you, Roto, as you interview our winner tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. SPGA Cyborg, got a copy?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man. I got to join the booth a little late, but I do want to say congratulations on picking up that win tonight. One thing that I watched and I want to kind of touch on is how consistent your car was. I watched the lap times. You were within a tenth to every lap of your lap times have been consistent. You want to talk a little bit on that and talk about tonight's win?
Well, thanks for the congratulations. Had a good time racing everybody. Definitely had a blast. Just hitting my marks and getting around the corners, you know, and just reminding myself not to overdrive the car and not blow the motor up like I did last week. And big shout out to SBGH, Bigger D, for the tune. You know, he's the one that tuned the car up for me, and he pretty much spot on. Toward the end of the race, though, I should have got slick tires, and I left rain on, and I really felt I was losing grip. Car was really pushing to the corner, so I really backed off a little bit. And then Mine and I were playing around, we're having a good time there, and then went in the corner there, and he hydroplaned a little bit, and the brakes went out, which is no big deal. It happens. I thought I had him cleared, actually. I just feel it was more my fault for him, and I ain't gonna go, oh, you know, but it's all right. But other than that, you know, great league, man. Look forward to next week.
Awesome job tonight, man, and congratulations to our P2 position. As well tonight. Good, you know, congratulations to you. I was really out. You know, I was from last week seeing you two guys run each other through the beginning part of that. I was kind of expecting a little bit of the same,
at some points, ST6 there, he could make a little bit of ground, and then they just had a little bit of a struggle. So, all in all, congratulations, man. Good run tonight, and congratulations to both of you all. Big D, over to you, my man.
You might step away to grab a cigarette real quick.
I had a coughing attack. I muted my microphone. As you said over you, Big D, I started coughing and I muted my mic, so sorry about that. Yeah, you know, our third place driver had to go, so he's not here for the interview. And I do believe it was a good race, but you don't have a mic, so we're going to turn it over to Camaro Kid is going to interview SVG. Oh, Camaro Kid did. So, Smoke, you had no grid penalties. Congratulations on that.
Started on that one.
Right? Well, that was one of the topics in our booth, believe it or not, but you had no grid penalties and you finished fourth in this race. Or no, fifth in this race. How was your race and how did your car handle today?
I had to go on the pit twice due to over revs. In the beginning of the race, when I started the race, it was at 72, so I tried babying it, and I was racing my ear off and on, and we were playing with each other and letting give each other give and take, never getting into each other. That was fun. And I had to go in three times just to get the motor tuned to have them repair damage. Towards the end, it was like a drift car. Just one turn.
Well, congratulations on your top 5 finishes. Quite an improvement over what you did last week. It looked pretty good. I mean, you had a couple of issues, but, you know, a lot of drivers today had issues. And, you know, here at SVGH, we're all about getting better and, you know, thriving for perfection and, you know, running it and, you know, learning as we go. So, ST6, where are we going next week? And can you tell us a little bit about that race next week?
Yes, next week we'll be going to one of my favorite tracks, Mount Panorama, if I can say it right, in Bathurst. We'll be starting the race mid-afternoon, and then we're going to head into the evening. Start clear, and should be some fog in the forecast for the evening. It's going to be cold. In the winter time, it's going to be a cold track at night, and some fog on the mountain. It's going to be exciting.
Right, which...
Australia.
So, with that being said, that does about wrap up our broadcast today, and we'll shout out to ST6 and D4C for holding this series. After completing week 2, you can find the points there in the group chat for the drivers chat, or for you viewers on our Twitch and YouTube channel. If you want to look up the point standings, it'll be on our homepage at www.svghostings.com. That's svghostings.com. And any last words from you there, Roto, before we sign out?
Nah, great job, Cyborg and ST6 and Smoke on your guys' respective finishes tonight. It's a phenomenal race to watch. Hopefully next week I can join you guys on the racetrack and not have to catch it from the booth. Congratulations to you guys on your finishes, and we hope to catch you guys next week.
Thanks, man.
As we say here at SVGH, see ya!